And we're back. Welcome back to another video on Logan's Speed Shop. Today, back into the two-tone. So, still pulled apart pretty much how we left it. The biggest difference is what's hiding under the hood. Get this bonnet up. Trying to speak up a bit as I noticed the noise was a bit lower on the last one. So we've got the motor in. At the moment it's just bolted in, gearbox box in. A couple of little things are bolted up, but not a lot yet. Just playing it out. All the power steering's hooked up. All the messy stuff. Still got to chuck fluid in that though. But what I have done is the engine loom. So it is a Haltech 750, which has given us enough for everything, and also enough, well, it's given us a couple of spare inputs, outputs as well. So if anything wants to change later on, we can. Got a few things routed in different ways. Got a plug there for the rotary switch. Oil pressure switch will have, well, oil pressure sensor will have as well. All the factory stuff. And the next big job will be removing this fuse box. It's going inside the cabin. One thing this car is going to retain is the aircon. I haven't allowed for that in the Loom yet, as I will run that a separate one along the inside of this guard, as these three plugs here will be moving inside the cabin as well, I'd say, or just deleted. Well, two of them are aircon, so I need them. We'll just make them adapters, but yeah, they will most likely be near on inside the cabin. Otherwise the car is the same. Just need to unbolt that rear wheel. The other side is off, and the interior is still just as bare. But yeah, we'll get into it. As for the other car, she's pretty much pulled apart. Won't lift the bonnet as it's not attached, it's just sitting there. Got the cover off at the moment as I've just been pulling a couple of bits of the interior apart. Instead it's stacked gently in the back there. And we got the rear end ready to go. This, as much as it looks like a little job, just bolting it into the back, bit of a pain in the ass as I've got to change the rear knuckles. So we'll get that over there. Most likely that'll be a tomorrow job. Drop out the other one, swap out the knuckles, as I'll use this subframe. It's got the arms, it's got a good Tomei two-way according to that. And I have to trust that, which means that'll be able to go in the other one. Well, bits and pieces will be swapped between and it'll go in. And then we can put this exhaust on and the coilovers. The customer's opted to go for the BC Reds, as he felt that they drove a bit nicer than the Blitz coilovers that are currently in it. So we'll do that, swap them over. Near on identical looking coilovers, but hey, I don't doubt that one would drive nicer than the other, so let's get them swapped over. Obviously today she's a bit damp out here, not a great day for outdoor works, so it was a good one just to finish off the loom. Just got the coil pack loom to finish off. We'll knock that out in a bit as well. And yeah, not much holding me back from getting into the fuse box relocation, mounting up the intercooler kit. Actually got to drill the hole, and also going to move the battery into the boot. Just waiting on the bracket to come in. Not a big job, just very time consuming. So as soon as parts come in and it's a dry day, knock it all out. Want to see it all done, want to see it driving, want to see Kirk enjoying his car. Alright, let's get into some work. Alright, I'm back after about a week between this clip and the last clip. Just had work, had other things going on, haven't been able to touch the car, but I've done a few things inside. All the body loom is done, so the fuse box that used to live there is now chilling on the floor over there. It still looks like a mess of wires just because of all the wiper wires, but they will run under the dash, up and around, so they don't do the big lap anymore. The engine loom is all ran, just have to tidy it up. Everything except the water temp sensor is plugged in up the top, oil pressure sensor and IACV. Water temp, what a bastard. That's the plug. As you can see, that's the factory plug. It was glued in. Someone thought it was a good idea to glue that plug in, which means it ruined the sensor, which means I can't plug the nice new plug in, and there's no point trying to put the one in next to it, as it'll just be in the way. And there's no point even trying to tidy up the cam angle sensor wire, until everything's run to in the right spot. So we'll leave that one for now. Intercooler pipes, cut the hole out so it's easy. Got the battery cables here, so this one will mount somewhere up under here, and just a little wee bugger that'll mount by the computer. Makes it easy just having a nice solid power source next to the computer. So I'll probably try and mount that in there soon. Chuck the Haltech up in the factory spot somewhere here. Still got all the blower motors out just for easier access. Not that anything needs to run behind them, I don't believe. Grab some gearbox oil and then the shifter can go in today. Got to swap the digital climate control from the other car. Actually got a ton of small jobs to do. Don't know how much of it I'm going to film, but we'll try my best to film heaps of it. Sun's in my eyes as I'm trying to film now. But yeah, pretty much try to hit the ground running. Toolbox. And see how we end up. The biggest one, well, the ground's still wet, but I've got to change that power steering hose line. So I'll probably whip that off the rack over there and pull a couple of bits off the crashed car as I go as well. Mind you, it's all pretty much off, ready to go. Makes it a fair bit easier. We'll just get into it, see how we come up at the end. We got progress. The front end is all back on. Cut out the bumper roughly for the cooler. I know this bumper's not staying on, the Aero one will end up on. So the cut is not as good as it possibly could be, just because I know it's going to get switched over. And even some of the mounts on this one aren't the best, so the bumper doesn't sit perfect. But we got the bricks in there, we got the corner lights, we got the grille. All looks a lot more complete. All the wiring, everything is in place, everything is attached. Even a line down there for the aircon. Coolers all bolted up, all the pipes. Just chucked an old filter on there as he's removed his MAF, so he didn't have a filter. I have to order the sensor for that, so I don't really want to put the radiator in, just so I can get to that all easier. Gotta swap the oil pressure sensor over and just wire up the IACV. Gotta change the plug to a nice Deutsch connector. Over this side, nice black vacuum lines. Still got to chuck some cable ties on them as clamps. And we got the boost controller there, just recycled his HKS one. Will work perfect. All the wideband going into the car. Not much progress on that side, still looks like a bit of a mess. But ran the engine loom round and under, and we've got the Haltech mounted in there, along with the wideband, little power terminal down there, and this cable that'll run to the back to the battery, so I'll do very soon. Probably do the climate control soon too as well, swap that out for the other one, that way I can get all these gearboxes back in, make her all look a bit more complete. Be nice to have it looking like a car again. And with the ground drying off, well, pretty much dry now, I'm going to swap over that power steering line, build up a couple of earths, and the car can go back on the ground. No more working at an awkward height where the doors shut when you're working on them. Absolute pain in the ass actually, unless they're fully open. So you just go like that, doors shut. They seem to yeah, sometimes stay open, sometimes don't, but that's easy enough. Then we'll start knocking things off on the engine as well. So it's actually not that far off done overall. I say that, but I'll probably get stuck doing 20 little jobs. Even just small stuff like removing this bloody bumper support from the other one, as all the bolts had to be cut or they broke as I touched them. It's the stand of the bolts, the nuts, sorry. It's bloody disgusting. They can go in the bin now. But yeah, making progress. Not a lot to show as I'm doing it, as I'm just trying to smash it out. But I'll do a couple of updates, clips along the way, and we'll get into it. Keep going, keep smashing it out. Hopefully have her done and running very soon. Alrighty, well, I think that's me done for the day. Working on the car anyway. Big progress. Not much changed in the engine bay since the last clip. Just a bit of pre-planning. Managed to do the bloody oil pressure sensor, not that you can see it down there. Absolute bastard. and back line for the power steering. Still got to do the IACV. Got to take the throttle cable out of the other car, as the CASR one slightly different length in there, but that's easy enough. See the air temp sensor that got chucked in there, and the intercooler pipe. Pipe's a little bit hard on this side, but it's just how it fell without making a custom kit. Got the Aircon on the inside, so I have to attach these, chuck the grommets on first, just so it's easy enough, and just route that, do a bit of cable management over this side. Inside the car, actually got a dash back in it. Just realizing now I probably should have ran the wiper wires first before I did this, but this is the boat we're in now, so we'll deal with it. See, everything's mounted up there out of the way. All the cables should be well hidden. It's good to see it all back in there. This is the dash out of the crashed car. It's got a little bit of a blemish up on the top over in the center, but otherwise good. It had a bit of a wrinkle, but leaving it in the heat for a couple of days seemed to work, and managed to get the vents back in the top without breaking them as well. One thing that would be nice is removing that bloody parcel tray. Chuck that one in the bin, as I don't know what it's from, and it just looks stupid up there. Might actually do that, as it's bin day tomorrow. That is all the wires removed from the front loom. Absolute shitload. So it wasn't actually a lot added to extend much. It was mainly shortening, removing stuff that wasn't needed. Being an auto car, there was a hell of a lot more in there than it was needed. But yeah. One thing, just a quick one to end this with as well. Some of you may have seen this little bugger up for sale. Taking it down now. Actually ended up selling the wheels off it, so I've got the Oz cars on it. But yeah, pretty much decided I will keep it, I'll finish it. Going to work out what parts are actually needed to finish it. I think I've got everything. Got a Heltec hidden away, all the piping, all the fittings from Raceworks, and pipes from Raceworks, Pulsar Turbo. Should be good. Get it running and then decide how I feel about it when it's all up and running. As for the engine bay, she's a little bit rough over on the side, but just going to give it a sand back and a quick spray. Otherwise the rest of the bay is pretty good. The radiator's just chilling in there at the moment. But yeah, just give it a bit of a tidy up and then see how I feel. Might still sell it afterwards, I don't know. I don't need the cash for anything, but also don't have the time to use it. I don't remember even the last time I drove my S13. So if I'm not using that, it's hard to justify this, especially when I've got another new car on the way as well, and a lot of customer work like this bugger. But we will see how we go. Yeah, hopefully in the next week or so I'll do a video working on this, get the motor back in, start on the wiring, and smash it out between the other customer jobs I've got coming in and normal work as well. But yeah, that's me done.